Welcome everyone to Total War Pharaoh Early Access. In this series of videos, we'll be going over all of the new units Pharaoh is bringing, broken down by both the regional native units recruitable by all factions, provided they own territory in that area, and the faction units unique to the individual playable factions in-game. To make things easy to locate, all native unit regions will have their own video and will be sorted into a playlist, and all faction units will be grouped by their overall cultural alignment: Egyptian, Canaanite, and Hittite. They'll also have their own playlist once the second video for each is uploaded. If there are any changes made to overall stats and abilities, I will do my best to add those in a pinned comment in this video. That way it's easy to compare exactly what is different going forward. In this episode, we will be going over the Pride of Upper Egypt, and the backbone of your armies if you're starting as Tozeret. These will be the regions that allow recruitment of Upper Egyptian soldiers. All you have to do is take one of the territories and build up the native recruitment building. The Upper Egyptian units are going to be better trained and equipped than their brothers from Lower Egypt on all tiers. And this will be our first native unit faction that will have access to chariots, which will be a huge power spike for any army that can snag them. It is good to know for any factions that don't start with an easy way to source the rolling death machines. As usual, we will start with the weaknesses to consider when adding Upper Egyptian units to your armies. Firstly being a lack of strong options for combating enemy chariots, which will roll right over your clubmen and slaughter any slings and javelins hiding behind. Your spears are not going to arrive until the tier 3 native recruitment building, and when you do get them, they're going to be very average as far as spears go, with a modest 85 armor and no additional traits or battle stances to give them more utility or staying power. The last downside to Upper Egypt is going to be a song sung across the desert, and that is going to be all troops are going to be very lightly armored until the late tier, and they'll never quite have the staying power of the Canaanite and Hittite invaders. Moving on to what Upper Egypt excels at, and that is firstly and most obviously that they have chariots. These will be your basic Egyptian skirmish chariots, so they'll be medium class, fairly speedy on the battlefield, and used to smash into enemy flanks or harass low armored or units without shields before turning and fleeing to get out of their angle of attack. Being a medium skirmish chariot, they'll be easy targets for focused missile fire and any amount of melee combat outside of that initial charge, so keep these guys moving to see their true potential. My only complaint is that these are identical to the lower Egyptian chariots, which are supposed to be the kind of levy troop swarm units. I would give the Upper Egyptians a bit more armor, damage, and melee stats to separate the two a bit, while also giving the lower Egyptians an extra few chariot models, up to maybe 30 to 32 on Ultra. The next thing they're going to excel at is mobility. As most of the roster is very lightweight, they can move around the battlefield very quickly and pick engagements that are more to their liking. All of the light units will also come with resistance to heat, making them immune to sweltering weather and desert attrition on campaign map. Another great thing about Upper Egypt's roster is that most of their melee troops, with the exception of the Upper Egyptian swordsmen and spearmen, will have a few armor-piercing javelins to toss at their foes before getting in there and tossing spellbows around. And they have several units like the Axe Conscripts, Axe Mace Warriors, and the Kapesh Warriors who will be great at ripping apart enemy shield lines with their innate bonus for the shields. Upper Egypt really feels to me to be the baseline faction for the game, kind of like the Dwarfs or Empire for Warhammer. They are a jack-of-all-trades in terms of desert warfare and mobility, only really lacking in options to deal with opposing chariots. But with all of that, I'll let the units and their stats roll on through, and that's all for me. I have been Space Wizard Total War. Remember to leave a like for the Light God and a sub for the Sub Thumb. I'll see you on the next one.